Time to pull up a chair. We've got another great story today for you in the rLounge. People say the darndest things. Mother-in-laws even more so. Today on rLounge, a petty mother-in-law will do whatever it takes to ruin a beautiful thing for her granddaughter. Am I the a-hole for telling my husband that if he doesn't like the way I parent his kid, he should give her to her alcoholic mother? I'm not someone who has ever wanted kids to start with. I knew I was unable to have children from a very young age due to a medical condition and made peace with this long ago, and it wasn't difficult for me to. I have been married to my husband for 3 years now and absolutely adore his daughter. She's a little ray of sunshine joy. And he has been honest with me from day one that his daughter will always be his first priority, something that I actually admired about him. I also understood that he will never be able to leave her with her mother because she has a drinking problem that can lead to violence. However, recently, he started being very judgmental of everything me and his daughter do together. His daughter is now 7 years old and a few months ago fell during practice and fractured her arm. He was very worried about her, and I was too, but he has always been very protective of her. When I told him that he should relax, she'll be alright, and that he can't control every aspect of her life as a way to comfort him, he told me that he'll never be someone like my father, something that really hurt me, but I let it slide. After this incident, he started throwing comments here and there about how I'm being careless with her, or how I'm not fit to be around her, or how I sometimes act so childish with her. A few days ago, I was going to pick her up from school, but I was 15 minutes late due to a holdup at work, while he was out on a business trip. I felt that she was upset about waiting this long because she never had to wait this long before, but she didn't complain, I just felt it. She was not as upbeat as she usually was, so I decided to cancel my plans for the weekend and spend some time with her, with the promise that all studies will be done on Sunday, which almost always was the usual case. We had what she called Girls' Day until Dad comes home. Went shopping, ate out, had a Disney marathon, and spent some time by the backyard pool. That was over the course of 2 days, till my husband came back home. I told him what we did over the few days he was away, which I have of course mentioned over the phone when we talked, or his daughter mentioned when he called her. Though his reaction was not what I expected one bit. His first words to me was, "Do you think you can be a proper mother figure for once in your life?" A sentence that, till now, still bothers me and echoes on in my head. We had a big argument, which ended with me saying that if he doesn't see me as a proper mother figure to his daughter, he should send her to live with her real mother. I still feel bad about saying this, and I know that it will upset me to no end if he actually separated her from me, because I have honestly grown very attached to her. Though still, I do not know if there is something I am not seeing, or if there is something I fail to understand. Maybe I do not have the instinct to mother a child, or I'm not seeing it as big of a responsibility as it should be. I just do not understand. Am I the a-hole? Let's check with the community for some relative comments. What happened with the broken arm at practice, and does he blame you? One of us was supposed to be there with her. As per usual, whoever has time on their hands on Tuesday through Thursday nights will accompany her. But that time she had to go with one of her friend's parents because both of us did not have any time. He had an important business event to attend, so he couldn't back out of it, and I had a doctor's appointment that couldn't be postponed because the doctor was flying out of state for a while. Though I do not think he blames me, but he blames both of us for abandoning her. Before you moved in together, did you talk about what role you would have in her life? What exactly was he mad about with the weekend? We agreed that she will live with us and, on most weekends, be with her grandmother, his mother. Also, that during weekdays, after school, her grandmother will be with her till one of us is done with work so we can pick her up to go home. But my work started to integrate a hybrid working style, so I suggested that the days I'm working from home, it's not necessary to have her spend after school time at her grandparents' house. I genuinely enjoy my time with her, so it's not a bother to me at all. About the weekend, though, he mentioned that I'm acting so childish with her, and it's as if I'm a child myself, and that I'm not fit to be a mother figure that knows when to be strict and when to be lenient. That's what he kept saying. It felt as if it was just criticism after criticism, without me being able to pinpoint what he sees the issue is. And of course, yes, it did bother him that I was late to pick her up. Relationships with their parents. We both did not have the best relationships with our parents, which led to not having a parental figure to look up to. He was too attached to his father, but his father was always away, while his mother was always absent to their emotional needs, or that's what I understood from how he used to describe her to me. For me, my father was more of the parent to spoil, so you'll love him even if it's at the expense of your own good. Eventually, he left when I was in my late teens and rarely called every now and then because he cares. All this led me to be really hateful towards my dad and close to my mother, even struggling financially for a while because he was really well off and refused to send me any money at the time. So maybe he is scared that he'll repeat the circle or something. It's really exhausting to try and figure him out at this moment when all he seems to do is just criticize everything I do. The comment about my dad was said because my father was always the type to disappear when things get bad and reappear suddenly when everything is fixed. So he was the type to always say that no one needs to stress about anything and that my mom is making a big deal out of everything. And a year ago, I was hospitalized for a week and my dad did not even call to check up on me except a couple weeks after I was out and about, saying that it was probably no big deal and I was overreacting. So the jab about my father, I believe, was about this situation. Is he an absent father, and could he be jealous? I wouldn't define him as an absent parent. He is just so busy lately with work, as he recently got promoted. Also, after her reluctance to spend all the time at her grandparents' place, this all consequently left me and her to spend more time together. You're not being the a-hole here, OP. There's obviously something he's not telling you. And these little jabs at you and your father are his little bullets of emotion. He says these things to hurt you because he's hurting. It's probably a mixture of things. He's probably jealous that you're around, and maybe he's afraid he has to compete with you in some way. And at the same time, he probably does resent you a little for his daughter's accident. This is all to say that there's definitely something there that he's not communicating with you about. Update. Post September 12th, 2023. 2 days later. First of all, thanks for everyone who commented and tried to help with the insight about this. I really appreciate it. This turned to be more of a rant than expected, so sorry in advance. So the issue with his daughter has actually not been about the way I am with her, but totally a different thing. In short, he's not cheating on me, but thinks I might have cheated on him. There was someone in his ears, and it's his mother. Apparently, mother-in-law didn't like me from day one, and I was stupidly obvious to how deep it ran. Yes, a part of me did not allow myself to be fully relaxed around her, and I was kind of on guard because she was excessively nice at times, but I never imagined her dislike ran this deep. It was normal for her to call me names behind my back, say I'm not on their level, tell my husband that I'm using him for his money, even though till his latest promotion I was making more than him, and he always joked to mention in front of his family that I was the breadwinner. Now it makes sense why. Also, I was told that whenever my husband stood up for me, her response was, "It's not like she'll be the mother of my grandchild one day." It kind of makes sense now why she had a whole hissy fit when I miscarried the first year of my marriage. As I never went into details about my medical condition with her, I just mentioned I couldn't have a child of my own. Another thing was last year's Mother's Day. My stepdaughter asked her grandma if she can get a gift to Mom. She refers to me by my first name, and never have I heard her call me Mom. Her grandmother went on to explain that she could never call me Mom because I'm not her actual mother. I'm just Mila. This last thing specifically I fully believe because I remember it being around the time that my husband asked me, how would I feel if his daughter referred to me as Mom? Her latest scenario was telling everyone that it's suspicious how sometimes I ask her to babysit my stepdaughter for a bit after school even though I'm working from home. Despite the fact that I stole her time with her grandchild, yes, there was a couple of months I was so busy with a project that even watching over her while I work from home was not even an option. I can only imagine, how did she twist this? I knew all this from his brother's wife when she called me about a few hours ago because she knew I left home and am staying with my mom for a while. In her opinion, I should not give mother-in-law the satisfaction of sabotaging my marriage. I left home after we tried to have a decent conversation about what he viewed was problematic of last weekend. The conversation started great, ending horribly with him asking if I wanted a divorce because I'm not satisfied or happy with marrying him. Though after all of this and as of now, I'm starting to think if it's all worth it. To be honest, if I knew from day one that mother-in-law talked about me like this, I wouldn't have gone through with a marriage or even a relationship to start with. I feel like I was lied to in a way. I also do not understand why did my husband not talk to me about any of this. If it's his way of keeping peace between me and his mother, then it's not appreciated. I'm almost tempted to just call him and tell him that it's either he cuts his mother off from our marriage, or at the very least expect me to not have any relationship with her, or everyone should go on their separate ways. My mind is currently working in overdrive and I probably won't be able to even talk to him and come up with some sort of solution until my feelings are not clouding my thought pattern. Let's check in for some more relevant comments. What did mother-in-law say to make him think you cheated? What I know about what his mother is saying is all from his brother's wife. So she told me what she knew because apparently his mother has done something similar at the beginning of her marriage too. So from what she knows and I understood is that mother-in-law always threw around how I'm probably unfaithful because I got bored fast and have no discipline. I do admit that I never held a job for more than a couple of years because I get bored and shifted careers a lot, but that's my career, and I won't have anyone who knows nothing about my work judge that. As for the working from home, I'm working in an advertising agency and I mostly am responsible for the part of branding for startups. So having a one-on-one meeting with a client at my home office is suspicious for her, specifically if I'm sending the little girl away to her. My husband never straight up accused me of cheating, but our last conversation he asked questions like, "Why are you always sending my little girl to my mom all of a sudden if you're the one that offered she can stay with you? What changed?" Or, "What's up with the sudden change of clothing style?" Or, "Since when did you get holdups at work?" Though recently he started wanting to know in specific who was the client that I was with, something I thought was fine because the house is also his private space. By specific, I mean like name and how did it go and such. If all this is true, it does hurt that he would believe his mother's lies and made up stories than just talk. I'd rather be hurt that he tells me what his mother thinks of me than have him try to throw mean comments about something irrelevant to his actual worries in an attempt to escape having a conversation about the real issue. Legit question: why are you meeting clients in your home instead of a Starbucks? Honestly, I haven't thought about it being dangerous, as the first initial meeting with the client is usually done in office by another department, so in my head it sounded safe. Though my only problem was that I didn't like someone I don't know to walk through the interior of my house till we reached my office, so I had a door leading from the outside of the backyard straight to my office. It may have been careless of me now that I think about it, and I may have failed to see the potential danger, but I didn't have my husband or anyone really say anything about it. The way I looked at it was that it's more convenient for me as the office is an hour's drive. I also do not like working in a cafe or something, so the option didn't cross my mind. Have you talked with him since speaking with your sister-in-law? No, I haven't, and don't think I'm ready to talk to him. It's draining. I'm trying to calm down before I do and think about what I want out of this, because if he denies that this happened, I won't know who to trust, and if I realize that he is lying to me, I know right now I'll just snap. How did your brother-in-law get through this if it happened to sister-in-law too? Could he help your husband? From what I understand, and she told me, brother-in-law kind of treated her the same way his wife was being treated, then gave her an ultimatum. He also rarely visits her with his family except on holidays. Sister-in-law told me that if I wanted to talk to brother-in-law about this and have him speak with his brother, he'll be happy to help, though they didn't want to intervene before talking to me. But I'm still thinking if it's best to take her up on the offer or talk to my husband first myself. Is there a chance he didn't tell you about his mother because he thought you wouldn't marry him? I don't know. Maybe yes, because the majority of people wouldn't have gone through with a marriage knowing that the package with their husband is heavy to carry. Though, it's a thought that I'm trying not to ponder over a lot because now I'm here and married to him and love his daughter. I got used to the idea of us being a family and now I'm reevaluating everything about my marriage. Okay, one quick comment from the community. From what I've heard and witnessed, it's rare to find someone like OP, who treats the stepchild with this level of genuine love and kindness. Her husband is a fool if he lets his mom ruin this. You have a right to feel how you feel right now, as he should be lucky to have someone who loves his daughter as much as he does. It seems as though he hasn't told you about how his mother felt about you in order to keep the peace, but it seems like it has done the exact opposite. His mother definitely lives rent-free in his head. Instead of letting her get to him without any physical evidence of you cheating, he should have just come clean to you and talked to you about how he's been feeling. But the comments about your father definitely make sense now. He's trying to protect his daughter in the case that you were cheating and you up and left. He doesn't want his daughter to lose another mother figure. What do you think? Thank you for following along today. Before you go, be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you have something you want to say regarding today's content, we want to hear it. See you next time in the rLounge.